Hi, it's Roberta with Quilt Crafters Corner. Today I'm going to do a block for you, excuse me, and the block's called Bachelor's Puzzle. So this is a relatively easy block. It's all half square triangles, and I'm going to show you how to do them so that they are easy to do and you just need to square them up a little bit. So I want to thank everybody for the comments on yesterday's extra video. We are playing with some cameras and some microphones and trying to get it better lighting and studio type effect for you so that you have a better video to watch. So right now, let me switch the camera view, and I won't have to do this anymore. And I'll put it down there. Okay, let's take a look at this. Is our block today. It's called Bachelor's Puzzle, and as you can see, it's all half square triangles. So let me show you the quick and easy way to make 4 at a time. So the pattern calls for, I think it's 3 7/8 by 7 3/4. I cut this 4 by 8, make it easy for yourself, and then you just have a little bit of room to trim and square up. So the first thing that you do on the 4 by 8 is I find my center points, and then with my air erase pen I mark it. I mark top and bottom, and then I draw my line from that point to there and this point to here. I would take this to my machine and I would start and sew down, across, and then back this way, and then back this way. It's really fast. It's much, much easier. Then, when I get it here, I will just cut this in half. And then these both need to be cut in half again, from point to point. Okay, after those are cut, then I would take these over to the iron and I would press. And just press this really good. Now, normally I would just take it and press it and then bring it back and then trim these, square these blocks up. So, but I don't like to square them up until they've been pressed. It works better for me. I get a much nicer square up when I do it after they've been pressed. So these blocks here have been pressed, and you can see they're nice and flat. So what I do then is I use my 3.5 inch ruler, and I have a nice 45 diagonal on there, and I can line my diagonal up on that, and that's what I use to square these blocks up. So I'll place my diagonal line on my seam and then just square them up. And then flip it over and the same thing. And what this does is it gives me a nice point in both corners where both seams are coming together. And what that does is it just makes your seams match up much nicer. It gives you a much nicer look. So let me lay this out for you. And it starts with my center blocks. And these are my center blocks in the, these are my center blocks. And as you can see, that's how they'll fit together. Now, once I square up these other blocks, it will lay much flatter. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my my regular block that does not have any half square triangle. It's just, this is just a 3.5 inch block. Now remember when I've talked about when you have 4 rows, you know they're all 3.5 inches, so all these are going to be squared up to 3.5 inches. Okay, and then this is my next one. And then last is the ones here. And these are just going to go like so. And once I get these pressed and trimmed up, and there's my block. Now what I did is I sewed these together in 4 patches. I sewed these 2 blocks and these 2 blocks and put it together as a 4 patch. I find it goes together much nicer. My rows aren't crooked. I know I get a nicer 4 patch. I can trim this up to 6.5 inches and make it really a nice block. The other thing is, do not spin your seams on this, because you want to be able to nest these seams so you get a nicer meat here when you put these together. So don't spin the seams on this one. You can't. If you want to nest your seams to get matching points, and see, I've got a couple there that I'm not real happy with, and I'll probably take those out and fix those. But that's one thing. Just don't spin. There's certain times when spinning your seams works really well, and there's others when it doesn't. And this is one particular block where it's harder to spin the seams. So that's today's block. It's called Bachelor's Puzzle. And I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank you all for your wonderful comments. And if you haven't joined Quilter's Swarm, please come join the Swarm. You can post pictures of what you're working on and what you're doing. Everybody likes to see pictures, and we'll be doing I'm going to start doing some lives there that are going to be a little bit different than the blocks themselves. So I want to thank everybody, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow. It will probably be mostly testing out new video equipment, because we're working on getting the video equipment right so that you have a better picture and you can see what I'm doing. So I want to thank everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.